they will need a passport, an international passport. So, some people feel like, my child is so young. Can't they just travel with my passport? That's not how it works, so. Today, welcome to my live session, and we'll be talking about family relocation. Do you have consigns for your kids? Either kid or kids, depending on how many that you have. I've made other videos talking about family relocation and some of the consigns that consign the parents, right? Whether it's the wife or the husband or a single parent. And today we will be focusing on the kids. A lot of people who are relocating abroad have consigns for their kids, and if you have kids, you know that parents can worry, parents can worry. They will worry about everything. They'll be like, is there water that my kid can drink when they come? Is there this? Is there that? How are they going to do this? How are they going to do that? And those consigns are legit, right? There's no parents that want to take any action that will hurt their kids. There's no parent that wants to take any action. Even if you don't have kids right now, think of our parents and the length they went through to see that we turned out well, to see that we turned out well, to see that everything went well in our life, to see that we went to the right school. Well, if your parents did not do these things for you, sorry. Sorry, okay? I believe you can still want to do them for your own kids. Anyway, let's dive into it. With you here today is Dr. Linda Iheme, and I'm an educational consultant with Vantage Migration. Myself and my team, we train graduates and professionals who want to relocate abroad via the study abroad route. And we show you how to do everything from, A to Z, everything you need in order to successfully relocate abroad. But specifically, we work with families who want to relocate via the study abroad route. And a quick summary is that if you're a family, you want to relocate abroad, only one of the spouses need to get admission. Whether it's the husband, whether it's the wife. And if you're a single parent, okay, fine. Then only you will have to get admission. Your spouse get dependent visa and be able to travel with you at the same time, if that's what you want. But also, your children, they get dependent visa and they're able to travel with you. Today we're looking at the consigns you have about relocating with your kids. Okay, so for the kids, a lot of parents worry, am I going to have to do another application? Do they have to get school there first? No. Once you have your own admission, you can definitely relocate with your kids. And it's one the visa application you'll be doing. It's just that when you are answering the visa questions and they're like, do you have kids? Then you have to say yes. Of course, you're not going to say no. You have to say yes, but trust me, there are a lot of people that they'll be like, should I say yes? I'll be like, wait, are you asking me to confirm if you have kids? All right, so you have to say yes, and once you say yes, the system will be able to bring another part of the form for you to fill, which then concerns your kids. Of course, your kids need their own passport, international passports. Get one for them, right? So now looking at the consigns that parents have, I already have some here, but please, if you have consigns that you want me to answer, you can check for the question mark if you're watching this live. If you're not watching it live, don't worry, just listen to other people's consign, right? So if you're watching it live, check for the question mark and drop questions for me. I'll be happy to answer those questions. So one of the first ones we have here is, will my kid be able to cope in class? So some parents worry that when their children arrive a developed country, like for example, a parent with children from Nigeria may worry if their children will be able to cope when they arrive, say, Canada or US or UK or any of the high income countries. One thing I want you to know is that kids have adapting ability that is even way beyond that of the parents. I'm telling you, kids can easily adapt. You arrive in a new country, before you even learn the language of that place, your child have started speaking the language. I'm just giving you an example, assuming it's a different language. So you have to understand that kids have better adaptability compared to the parents. But whether they're able to cope in class, I will not be able to tell you if your own kid will be able to cope in class. But there is something I can tell you. There are so many parents, so many people who have arrived high-income countries, who have arrived developed countries with their kids, right? And their kids are coping even better than you can imagine. I strongly believe that if their kids can cope, your own can cope. You see? So, I don't know your kid. I can't tell you what your kid is going to do, but I'm yet to see a parent telling me, since we arrived, my kid, they are not coping. In fact, parents are like very wild when they see that their children is even getting along. Before you will make one friend in your new city, your child already has two. That's the truth. Your child already has two. We tell you, oh, I met this person in school, my teacher is this, and you say you're like, you don't even know anybody in this city. So children cope better than the parents, and they adapt very easily. Don't undermine your kids. Don't over worry. In fact, this thing I'm saying, you can search more about it and read more about it. It is a given. It's not, I'm not the one making it up. Now, some parents will not agree with me. And I know some parents will not agree with me because they'll be like, my child is not really a normal child. My child has special needs. Are there parents that have special needs kids? I'm not asking you to indicate yourself, because sometimes even some parents, they may be embarrassed to really identify themselves. If your child has special needs, meaning maybe your child has Down syndrome, maybe your child has, any of these special needs right now that is really very rampant, I want you to know that you are not alone. In fact, relocating will be the best thing for you. Why? Here in developed countries, taking Canada as an example, there are even special schools for special kids, right? Kids with special needs. Even apart from special schools, even when they are attending the normal school, they can assign them to special instructors, special class, where they will also go see other children like them and be able to grow normal, So if your child has special needs and you worry that they may not cope as fast as other people, I want to tell you that they are even better off coming to a developed country like Canada, US, UK, compared to where you are right now in an undeveloped country or developing country, where when they even see a child that has special needs, it's like, that your child is mad, But I'm not blaming the people who say this kind of things. They too, they are not aware of this kind of situation. So it's new to them. But in developed countries, they've been seeing this and this, and it's even way more rampant. I'm telling you, it's way more rampant. And they've developed mechanism for caring for this kind of children. So if you are saying, you think every child will cope, but my own child will not cope because he has special needs, I want to tell you that, in fact, I am much more confident that your child will thrive better here compared to where you are right now. So still relocate, okay? Now let's look at other people talking about can the education my child have already done be recognized. Like, I know people that when they arrived here, maybe their child is already in kindergarten 3, all these names, and they worry that hope they will not backtrack the child. Now, let me tell you something that you cannot escape. Do you want to hear it? Do you want to hear it? Let me tell you something that you cannot escape. So that thing is that most schools here put children in class based on their age. Hello? Are you sure you heard what I said? Most schools put children in class based on their age. So let's assume that your child is 7 years old. When your child arrived Canada, even if your child is 7 years old and they are already in JS1, we all know that should not be happening, but I just want to use an extreme example. Your child is 7 years old, but they're already in JS1. When they arrive a country, say like Canada, all right, or UK or US, they will not go to JS1. they will go to the class that has all the students in that class are 7 years old. That's the class they will go to. If let's assume that your child is 7 years old, but your child is in kindergarten 1, which is too late, right? Like that child is too late. If your child comes to Canada, they are going to move that child to the class for 7-year-olds. Are you seeing? So the classes here are based on age, not based on whether your child passed several courses and you just jump them 3 classes ahead, or your child is dull and has, and is 3 classes behind. Your child is going to go to the age range where they are. So don't ever worry that will they be able to continue? Will they be, because even if you come in 3 years time, they are still going to put them. Let's say your child is 7 years old now, and you now say, let them just finish JS1 or whatever. Just give you an example. And then when you arrive, you think you are arriving 3 years later, meaning that they will not catch you. No, that 3 years later, your child is 10 years old. Your child is going to go to the class that have 10-year-olds. This is how it's done, at least for Canada. This is how it's done. So the point is, your child will not be too late or too early. The way you cannot increase or decrease the age of the child, so also you cannot increase or decrease the class of the child. So there's nothing you can do about this. They won't put the child in a bigger class or lower class just because the parents want it so. Yeah, that will not happen. So that's it. Then some people worry that their children may not be able to speak English. Yeah. So this my child said he's making a mistake in English. So how will they cope now when they come abroad? They will cope. I already told you that children adapt very fast. A lot of kids, when they come, maybe that 1 week, 2 weeks, 1 month, 2 months, they'll still be shy. But the kind of activities they give them in school, let me tell you, 6 months from that time, when your child is speaking, you just be like, hey, Nnamdi, slow down so that I can understand the way you are speaking. The children are the first to even start speaking. Let me use the word. Start speaking like Oyibo. I'm telling you. So they cope very, very, very fast. Very, very, very fast. So don't over worry. I know. Mom, dad, do not too worry. Especially the moms. Three of us. Especially the moms, they can worry. Stop worrying. Your child will even cope better than you. I know you don't want to hear that, or you don't believe it, but it's true. All right? Then other people worry about the school fees of children. Most schools abroad, especially government schools, they don't charge kids for education, at least until they finish studying, right? It's the same thing for kids of international students or kids of immigrants. So one good thing here that I want you to know is that once you relocate, as far as school fees is concerned, you won't be paying school fees for your child. As far as school fees is concerned, of course, does that mean parents no longer spend? No. That's not what I'm saying, because sometimes maybe you hear something like, there is this special basketball team, your child, it is whatever amount for your child to join that team. But the good thing is that it is optional, right? It's not even that, like, you can decide if your child wants to join that team or not, right? You can choose a lower team. You can say, oh, next semester, I don't have money now. Oh, you can say 2 years time when I'm more stable, whatever the case is. Or there's a piano class your child should be attending. It's a good to have, but it's not a must have, right? But the main school fees, you will not be charged for it. So it's a good thing. You don't have to worry about, how do I pay my own school fees and pay the school fees of 3 of my children? Even your children don't need school fees. So why are you worried? Why are you worried? All right. So now another thing people also ask for is, okay, maybe my child will soon finish. How are they going to do when they are going to university or something? First of all, I'll say take it one step at a time. However, imagine you're asking this because your child is already like 16 years old or something. You need to know that for university and co, they are going to charge them, right? But assuming you relocated abroad through Vantage Migration and you have learned how to do admission and get scholarship and get funding, your child is going to benefit from those knowledge. Because with that knowledge that you have, you're going to use it to apply for school for them and get admission and get scholarship and get all types of funding that they will need. So you shouldn't really worry. That's why a lot of time I tell people, when you go through our program Vantage Migration and we train you, you take the knowledge and you live with it for life. If your child gets to the stage, you help them. If your husband decides he's going back to school, you help them. If your wife decides she's going back to school, you help them. You know, you can use it within your household. So keep that in mind. Now let's look at the questions that parents have. Ooh, I love the question part. Let's look at some of the questions that you have, especially if you're watching this live. And feel free to ask your question. I'll do my best to tackle it as much as possible, okay? So let's start with the first one. This question says, working on going for my NYC, and at the moment I'm yet to get my certificate. I wish to study abroad, but I still don't have my school certificate yet. Can I get any scholarship abroad with my WAEC result? Okay, for you to be going for NYC, which is National Service, it means you have graduated, right? So I know this question did not really focus on what we are saying, and you see, if you're listening to me right now and you're not asking me questions, other people are asking questions, and their question will even make me divert from that topic. But let me just quickly answer this. Then we're going to look at questions that are aligned with what I've been talking about family relocation and kids. So if you are looking to relocate abroad, provided you've graduated, what you need is your transcript and your statement of results. Even if you don't have your certificate, you can still relocate. You don't need NYC certificate. So imagine a graduate is asking me if they can apply to school with their WAEC result. Are you planning to start afresh? You see, are you planning to spend another 4 years to start afresh? With your transcript and statement of results, you will go for your master's. You don't need any other certificate. So I hope you gain from that information. Now let's look at other questions. My child is less than 3 years old. Is there class for such age? Okay, so most schools start from 4 years old. If your child is 3 years old, then they have to go to what is it called now? More like a daycare. They have to go to daycare. So daycare have their own like their own arrangement. But primary school start from age 4. Right? Once they clock 4 years, then they start, let me use the word, primary 1. Let me put it that way. So they start the first year in primary school, right? So if your child is less than that, it doesn't mean that they have to be with you 247 while you're going to class or something. You have to put them in daycare, and daycare will take care of their training until they get to year 4. All right? And somebody that talked about less than 3, which for a mom to say my child is less than 3 means the child is almost 3 years old. Let me explain to you. If you are doing study abroad process, usually it's 6 to 12 months. So assuming you are starting now, you are going to be relocating at about now next year, right? So you see, before then, your child will already have become 3 years plus. That means, based on when you are relocating, it could even be that few months after you relocated, your child have hit 4 years old. So don't wait until your child is 4 years old before you start the process. Start now. At least I've seen someone arrive in Canada with pregnancy, an international student, and they were able to give birth here. Number 2, I've seen a woman arrive with 10 months old. In fact, that particular woman, her school even gave her daycare assistance. Like daycare bursary, that's what it was called. Daycare bursary. So, like, a lot of developed countries go out of their way to support a mom. Much more than you can believe. If you stay at home and you are, like where you are right now, you are overthinking it, you won't even arrive, so you won't even know all the opportunities you will have gotten if you are taking the steps. Okay? Let's see. Please, what is the school age for children in Ontario, and what type of visa should they get? A child that is coming with the parents are going to get dependent visa, which simply means that it's not a new application. When you are, as the parent, you are filling your visa application, when you get to the part of children, you are going to choose yes. And once you select yes, you will be given the opportunity to fill the details of your child. That is how their own dependent visa is going to come. So it's not like a fresh application. Number 2, what is the school age? I already mentioned that children, you start school from age 4. So the first primary, let's say first year in primary school is for children who have clocked 4 years already. So before then, you put them in daycare. Let's look at other questions. Looking for questions that align with what we are saying. Someone said, how does children raised in Canada behave, owing that morality is greatly sacrificed? Your child will behave the way you bring them up. And as we can all agree, I behave differently from you. Why? We have 2 different parents. Even in, say, Ghana or Rwanda, all children don't behave alike, right? So your child is going to come up really as based on what you're able to give. So when you're talking about morality sacrifice, what does that really mean? That's a whole new term that a lot of things are inside. So how your children are going to behave is going to still be largely the function of the family they are coming from and the training you give to them. It's not something I can tell you how your children are going to behave when they grow up. Like, if I even attempt to tell you that, wouldn't you even know I'm a fake person? How am I supposed to know? Do you know that even some parents that are very strict, their children still grow up to become wayward? Meanwhile, some people that you even consider them not strict, their children will grow up to become what you will call like responsible human being. So how a child will grow up is not something I'm here to predict. I don't know. Let's call a spade. I don't know, right? So another person said, my baby is 7 months old, so can I come with him? Yes, you can come with him. One thing to note, as I said, is that if you are coming with, let's assume your baby is 7 months old, as of when you're hearing me now. Before you arrive, assuming you start your process today, which is 6 to 12 months from now, your child will already be what? 1 year plus, right? So don't make the decision based on the age of the child now. And secondly, I already told you that a woman arrived here with a 10 months old, and the school even gave her childcare bursary, right? So can you come with the 7 months old now? Yes. But the question again is, are you really coming today? By the time you are coming, how old will your child be? You see? So there is, whether your child is even 5 months, 3 months, you can travel with the child. I always tell people that whether you want to travel with your child now or not, eventually it's going to come down to common sense. Let me give you a story, a real life story. A woman wrote to me one time and said, she was, let's just use all these kind of dates. She said, imagine she said she's delivering August 25th. She wants to book flight for August 27th, 2 days after delivery. That her agent told her that it's not possible or something like that. And she was asking for my opinion. And I asked her, as a woman, that by the time you want to book flight for 2 days after your delivery, are you ready to travel 2 days after your delivery? That you actually just carry that child and sit in that plane for God knows how many hours. If the child has problem, where will you run to? Are you really ready to travel 2 days after giving birth? You know, I would strongly believe she's a first-time mom, maybe. Like, she just feel like, it's not giving birth, we'll give birth, we'll move on the next day. But so I was telling her that it's not about whether you can or cannot. It's about, are you going to be ready 2 days after you deliver to actually travel with your child? Which means that even on delivery bed, you're packing your things. How is that going to work? So you still have to add common sense here. So the question is, do you think you'll be ready to travel when your child is 5 months old? For many moms, they will tell you yes. And for some, they will be like, no. If I give birth, I need to stay 2 years first. Let my mother come and help me before. I'm just giving you an example, right? For some people, that will be the answer. And for others, they'll be like, yes. Are you ready to travel 3 months? It's a thing of preference. But embassy will not tell you cannot travel because the child is 1 month old. So that one is what I need you to understand. There is no embassy that will determine when you should travel with your child. It is you who will determine so. All right? Let's look at other questions that people have dropped. So someone said, how soon can my 4-year-old start school if I'm coming in for January, for the upcoming January? It can start, once you arrive, you will go to the school, then the school will tell you when to start. So it will be school dependent, it could be location dependent, but the school will tell you when to start. But most times, they are either starting like, say, the next semester or the next academic year. So, and I already told you, like, why some parents may worry, my child will not miss one semester. It does not matter. Because if your child is 4-year-old, let's say by the time they are starting school, they've turned 5. I'm just giving an example. They are not going to enter the class for 4-year-olds. They are going to enter the class for 5-year-olds. So, if the child misses a semester or so, it will not affect their school progression. All right? Let's look at other questions. One moment, please. So another question is, can I come with my 4 kids to Canada? Yes, you can. You can come with 7 kids. You can even come with 100 kids if you born rich like that. I'm not joking. Embassy does not tell you the number of children to come with. You decide. So now, if you have 4 kids, what is going to determine whether you are coming with 4 of them or coming with 1 or 2, right? Is the money you have in your pocket. So, for example, if you have scholarship, is the scholarship covering the children? If no, most scholarships will cover you, they will not cover your children. If no, how are you going to take care of these children? You won't just carry 4 kids and dump it, say, in UK or dump them in Canada and the hunger is killing them, right? You won't do that. So, do you have money to take care of 4 kids in Canada? If yes, you can travel with 4 of them. If no, then you have to use your sense and know whether maybe you should take the youngest one with you. Or, no, let me take the other 2 and leave the youngest one. They will require more help. Maybe they can stay with my mom or my in-law, right? So, deciding how many children you should come with is a function of your pocket. And we all agree that everybody's pocket is different. So, there's no way, I can't give you an answer that fits all. But that answer that we attempt to fit all is saying it is based on your pocket. Embassy does not tell you can come with 1 child only, you can come with 5, you must come with 4 of them. No. Embassy is only saying you must show us you have the money to take care of the children you are coming with. Full stop. All right? Full stop. So that is how it operates. Now let's look at, let's see other questions that people have asked. Can you assist to get scholarship admission for masters in Canada? We can teach you how to do that by yourself successfully. So how do you start? You start by going to you start by attending our free webinar, right? By going to www.vantagemigration.ca. www.vantagemigration.ca. Please, can you take a screenshot so that you attend our free webinar at this place? Once you finish, you'll be able to check your eligibility